Special prosecutor investigating the Trayvon Martin case in Florida has pulled the plug on a planned grand jury hearing. This means prosecutor Angela Corey is taking full responsibility for deciding whether or not to charge George Zimmerman, the man who shot Trayvon Martin. The grand jury has been scheduled to convene tomorrow by the former attorney in charge of the case, Norman Wolfinger. Wolfinger recused himself last month amidst increasing public outrage over the handling of the investigation. Corey's decision to skip the grand jury hearing indicates Zimmerman will not be charged with first-degree murder since Florida law requires a grand jury in those cases. But he could still be charged with a serious felony like manslaughter. Trayvon Martin's family is encouraged by the development. Their attorney, Benjamin Crump, released this following statement. "We are not surprised by this announcement. And, in fact, we are hopeful that a decision will be reached very soon to arrest George Zimmerman and give Trayvon Martin's family the simple justice they have been seeking all along." Meanwhile, Zimmerman is reaching out to his supporters online. That's right, the shooter. He has set up a website to solicit donations for his living expenses and legal bills. And Think Progress reports tonight Zimmerman's site features a picture of a black cultural center at Ohio State University, which was vandalized with the phrase, "Long live George Zimmerman." I'm joined now by Daryl Parks, attorney for the family of Trayvon Martin. Mr. Parks, can you respond? Thank you for joining us tonight, first of all.
Thank you.
Can you respond to that website of what George Zimmerman is doing?
Well, we've always believed that Mr. Zimmerman is entitled to a full defense. You may not notice that, but I'm also president of the National Bar Association, so I'm for everyone having their day in court and for having a proper defense. I think that this family all along has only wanted civility in this case. They continue to want a fair public trial, and that's what's important that we have in this particular case. At the end of the day, I think you described Mr. Zimmerman correctly. He is the shooter, and so he must stand his day in court. If he believes he has a defense, he should put on that defense.
But he is playing on the emotion of hate on his website to get money to defend himself.
Well, you know, we've always said that there is no place for hatred in America. This particular family, the Martin family, believes that, you know, there's no place for that. We should all be together. There should be civility. These situations should be handled in a court of law, and that's what we believe to this day.
So he wants people to pay for his living expenses, help his legal situation financially, and he puts that up on his website. I mean, I think it speaks volumes about how desperate they are, and also trying to gin up emotion to get people on his side. It's very sad. Now, the other thing is the cancellation of the grand jury. What does it mean?
Well, it means that Angela Corey is taking control of the case herself. The one thing about the grand jury, you never know who's on the grand jury, what evidence they're probably seeing. With the case now in her hands, she gets to do what's called a direct filing. She gets to examine the evidence that her investigators have collected since they've been involved with the case, along with the evidence that may have been there previously, and then she gets to make a decision. We have all the confidence in the world that she is going to do the right thing and file the charges against Mr. Zimmerman.
Okay, so you think she's going to make an arrest in the near future?
Well, we sincerely hope and believe that she's going to do just that. We believe that all the evidence in the world that she could ever need leads directly to him being arrested and convicted.
Did you think that there was going to be a grand jury? Were you surprised by this?
I wasn't surprised by that. Matter of fact, if you probably saw some of the interviews that the legal team has done in the past, we knew that there was a real possibility that she would go ahead and do a direct file. In fact, if you listen to her interviews, she sort of was hinting at that all along, that there was a real possibility that she might do this. So when she announced that today, it was not news to me at all.
And how soon do you think an arrest is going to take place?
Well, it's hard to put a finite number of days.
This week?
Weeks. Well, we're hopeful it will be this week. We're very hopeful that it will be this week.
And student protests forced the Sanford Police Department to close for a few hours today. How important are these continued protests to keep the case moving forward and visible?
They're very important. It keeps the consciousness of everyone on getting justice for Trayvon. And as long as there's a reminder there, everyone knows that we need to move in that direction. So I think that it's the collective energy that we have experienced here that is helping this thing keep its momentum and getting it to the proper day in court.
Darrell Parks, appreciate your time tonight. Thanks for joining us here on The Ed Show.
The record needs to be set straight about what this administration's policies are.
Bush's brain is joining up with Team Romney to destroy the president. Howard Feynman and Sam Stein on today's big news from American Crossroads. A United States senator tries to degrade the president on Twitter with an insult and gets busted. We'll show you the tweet. And Republicans in Congress take the war on workers to a whole